Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Project Ozone 3 Kappa mode. So, guys, we are now able to fly around really fast because of our draconic armor that we have made. Last episode, we also started getting the Quantum Compressor. Yeah, we animated this block, and then we were able to kill the animated creature, right? And then get these Quantum Compressors, even though the icons looked weird when we placed them. It did make the Quantum Compressor. But yeah, there's a few things that I would like to take a look at today. Now, the reason why we did this Quantum Compressor is because we wanted to make, well, I mean, our ultimate goal is to make the Tome of Knowledge, which requires infinity ingots, which require infinity catalysts, and the infinity catalysts require the ultimate singularity, which requires all of these different singularities. 81 of them should be. Yeah, each one of these is going to require its own quantum compressor, and then we got to make these ultimate singularities. So, one of the first things that I want to do today, I would like to get these guys automated, which means, yeah, we have to lay out 81 of these and get a whole bunch of items going into them so they can start outputting each of the different singularities. That is quite the task to do, but yeah, I think we should be able to do it. All right, so that's one of the things. Now, in order to make a singularity in one of those quantum compressors, we have to have an ultimate catalyst. So this means we have to have 81 of these guys for every quantum compressor, right? And it costs 9,001 items per compressor to make one singularity. Okay, so we need, what was it called again? That we need ultimate catalyst. So ultimate catalyst. 81 of those to 100, like so. Next, so in order to make those, it says that we are going to need 350 blank runes, which means we're going to need 688 blank slates in addition. So I guess it's about 700 of these in total. What I'm curious about, can we animate the blank rune? If we can do that, that'll cut out all these blank slates, which means we won't have to do all the blood magic stuff that we normally have to do, which is make these imbued inscription tiles, which are essentially free. I mean, it's EMC. We just throw them in there, but then we got to wait for it to process. And each one of those takes, I don't know, 10 to 15 seconds or something. Yeah, if we can like skip this whole process, I think we'd be doing really well. Oh, it does look like I have some extra blank slates over here than I crafted up previously. But again, if we can just animate the blank rune, I think that'll be good. So blank rune, if I can spell correctly. Let's go ahead and craft one of these, and let's find out if this is animatable. Is that a word? Animatable? If not, I just made it a word. All right, so we're gonna need that, and if this works, we do need to get ourselves a mob imprisonment tool to capture it. So that. Hey, it seems to work. Okay, so let's put our wand of animation away. And let's go see if we can start spawning this guy. And actually, I guess before we do that, I'm probably going to want to get myself another drum? No, not drum. Barrel? Yeah, barrel. We're going to need a barrel. We are going to need the infinity. We're going to need... I guess we don't need that hammer. I need the one that's in my pouch. It's already set to the specifics that I want it to be. So we place that here, smack it with the hammer. Stupid bats. Stop it. That, and then we are going to want to do locked true. Okay. So at this point, nothing's going to go in this barrel until I give it a pattern. And we'll just stick it right here. That's fine. Oh, what the heck? Okay, maybe something is going to go in there if I don't give it a pattern. All right, well, I'll fix that here in a little bit. Anyway, let's get over here. Yeah, so we'll put this one right here. Let's go ahead and turn this on. So, yeah, we are spawning those guys in. Let's go see if we are getting... Oh, my magnet. Okay, all the sound. Yeah, look at that. Blank runes. Awesome. So that's exactly what we're looking for here. Let me get all this stuff out of my inventory. Actually... Options, sound, that is so loud. All right, these, oh no, I guess they can go in here. I was gonna say that the loot bag shouldn't go in there, but that's fine. Yeah, so we are getting all sorts of blank runes. Now, how many did we need in total? Was it one per? I can't remember now. again, I can't remember the name of this item. Ultimate Catalyst. Ultimate Catalyst required 81 of those. And that required us to have 350 blink runes. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna need a few stacks of those to come through. So I guess in the meantime, I will fix this barrel. I'll set the proper filter, and then we'll get everything going here. All right, so that's looking much better now that we have plenty of blank runes in here. We don't have to make a whole bunch of blank slates. Now, the other problem is this requires us to have black iron ingots, 350 more. So black iron, I think we might be able to do the same thing. I was almost considering us to set up the automation interface for extended crafting to make these. But if we can just make a block and then animate the block and spawn that in, and it looks like that freely converts in a craft. Oh, no. You can turn it into a block, but like to turn it back into ingots, you need the factorizer. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I think it's going to make much more sense for us to animate the block and spawn in a whole bunch of these black irons. That way we don't have to worry about that anymore. Because right now, if you guys remember, we have this interface over here that like just puts all the ingredients for this black iron into this chest, and then I have to grab that and manually move them over here to do some crafting. But yeah, we never automated this, and with extended crafting, I was actually looking at this earlier. You can do this book, right? And this book will tell you about the automation interface, and this will work. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Yeah, so this will work with the Ender Crafter, this thing right here, right? Yep. So that would be a way to automate that, but I was also looking at the recipe for that. So if we go extended crafting and look at this guy, it's a little expensive. It does require all these crystalline components, the elite catalyst, coprocessor, 64K, like all this stuff. Maybe earlier on this would have been good, but yeah, it's a little expensive in my opinion. In order, like for what it does, I would just rather craft up the black iron in bulk. But now that we can animate it, definitely think that's the way to go. So again, we need to make sure that is animatable. So let's make one block. We'll grab another mob imprisonment tool. I'm now just realizing that I didn't rename our last mob imprisonment tool. I'm gonna have to do that. So we'll place this down. Man, that is really dark. I guess it's like iron. Yeah, it looks like a really, really dark iron block. You can kind of see the stripes on it a bit. Anyway, so yeah, again, we're gonna need our wand of animation, our mob imprisonment tool, and that works just fine. Awesome. Yep, so I'm gonna go ahead and rename this guy. I'm gonna rename the other one. We're gonna do the same thing, spawn a whole bunch of that, and then we'll be right back. All right, so we got almost 9 stacks of black iron. We got almost 11 stacks of these blank runes, so we're doing pretty good on those blocks. Now we should be able to make the ultimate catalyst, and again, 81 of these bad boys. And it looks like we have everything available. Now, it is going to take a little bit of time because it has to take these blocks and put it through the splitting factorizer in order to make those ingots. But yeah, we no longer have to manually craft these black iron ingots anymore, which is fantastic. So I went ahead and I removed the interface and this chest. I did not, however, put back the white concrete. There we go. And you know what? This guy right here, this MEIO port, we can probably get rid of this. I don't think we're going to be using that anytime soon. There, that kind of cleans things up a little bit over there. Yep, there we go. So get rid of that stuff. Awesome. Okay, so now that we got those guys being made, we can start looking at where we're going to set up these quantum compressors. Now, 81 of these blocks, I'm not really sure where a good place for these would be. I mean, this is like the biggest open space that we have, or we could throw them downstairs in our basement. I feel like over here, though, is going to make more sense. Yeah, we should fill up the area out here. Okay, so 81... I guess we could set it up. Well, it would make sense to set these up in a 9x9. However, Applied Energistic channels say that we have to do it in 8x8 because you only get 8 channels per thing. So if I wanted to split these up in 8s, how would that work? Okay, so that would be 10 8s and then a single. All right, so that's going to be over one of the dense ME channels, right? One of the dense ME cables. I think, I mean, I guess it just depends on how we set these up. We could have one interface which has 9 output slots, and we're extracting from that using like conduits or something. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out how this is all going to be set up. Well, anyway, I'm going to mess around with this, try and get these things laid out in some kind of a fashion that makes sense to me anyway, get the Applied Energistics hooked up, and then we'll look at actually providing these with items. All right, so I think this is how we're going to get these things hooked up here. So I have a line of 9. We're going to pack these into a 9 by 9, just one solid block of these things. And yeah, we're going to be providing the items from the top using the cable ME interfaces. Now, the reason why we're doing the cable ME interfaces is so we can pack these in tightly and they don't touch each other, so we can separate the cables, right? So we can have 8 channels down here, which will not go over the amount of channels that the regular ME glass cable can support. So we have 8 channels here, 8 channels here, they don't connect. Otherwise, we could use the same color instead of doing lime and green. Yeah, I did make a new color here. We could use the same color and then put like cable anchors between them or something, but I figured just doing separate color would probably just make more sense in this particular case. So yeah, that's what we got going on here. And then we are going to be extracting out of this. Do I have glowstone dust on me? I don't. Yeah, so we're going to be extracting out of that using these translocators with glowstone dust on them. That way we can extract a stack at a time. And then each one of these interfaces, we're going to provide a single stack of whatever item is going into these different quantum compressors. I think that's going to make the most sense. Now, these guys do require power, so we still have to figure out power, and we also have to figure out how to extract the items out of it. But I think all of that's going to be relatively simple. Like, we can just put a whole grid of, you know, conduits or whatever underneath these guys so they all will get power. And then we can also put item conduits on top of those and extract into, like, I don't know, what are those things called? Like mini chests, I think? Chest? I was just looking. Yeah, these mini chests here, these hold 1 stack of items. So we could have these compressors all fill up 1 mini chest, which is all going to have 1 item in it. Yeah, so that, or I'm sorry, 1 stack of items. So these will end up having a stack. The mini chest will end up having a stack. We'll have 2 stacks of each different type ready to go. So when we need to craft those ultimate singularities, yeah, we can craft up to 128 all at once. I think that's going to make sense. Well, anyway, I'm going to continue on with this particular process. And then, yeah, we can just use our diamond wand here to do the next one, right? We just got to make sure we do everything and we don't forget a single step here. But I think this should work out okay. So everything is now hooked up. Yep, our quantum compressors all have their own ultimate catalyst in them. Each quantum compressor has its own ME interface, and then we're going to be extracting out of that, like we saw before, with these item translocators that have glowstone, so we can extract 1 stack at a time. Yep, and then that will insert into here. Now, none of these have been set up. We don't have any specific item filtered, or I guess provided, for the translocators to extract. And in fact, the ME cables, the ME, yeah, all this stuff isn't even connected to our main system. We just have all the cables ran, so everything is well organized. We can tell what things are doing. So yeah, each one of these lines is 8 blocks long, and these dense cables can support 32 channels, or I guess 4 of these lines, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 times 8, so that's 32 here. We have 32 here. And then we are left with 32 here. I'm sorry, 8 here, 8 there, and then 1 additional one. So 17 more, right? So we have to have another dense cable here. So each layer of this is going to require 1, 2, 3 P2Ps, right? Okay, so down below, below the quantum compressors, we have some conduits. We have item conduits, which are set to extract, always active. And then we have the energy conduit. We're using the stellar ones, which is way overkill. But since we can make them freely, that's what we're using. And those are just set to insert power into each of these. So yeah, I ended up using a conduit probe so I could go through and set all of them with just 1 right click, which makes things easy. Yeah, so we have our P2Ps down here. So these are going to be providing the 32 channels to this bank, the 32 channels to that bank, and then back here, the 32 channels, well, I guess we only need 17 of them, to this one, right? So that's this layer. And then down below, yeah, this is where things start, things kind of get a little crazy, I guess. We're inserting on these conduits, the item conduits, right? We're not filtering anything, we're just inserting. There's 81 chests available to insert to. We have 81 quantum compressors that are going to be making singularities, and they'll all go and find a home here, right? Underneath, we have ME storage buses. Each one of these I have set to extract only. We're not filtering, but we can only extract out of them. So whatever these conduits put into the mini chest here that only hold one stack, yep, that's the only thing we'll be able to extract. We're never going to put items back into them, so I think that should be fine. Now again, we have 81 items, so we have to separate these. So we have a P2P here, P2P there, so that's 64 channels, and then another 17 over here. Just like we had up above, we have the 8, and then the single one right here. So that's the way all of this is set up. So this is going to require us to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not really 6, but we're going to use 6 P2Ps to get everything properly turned on. Okay, so the next step is we need to go over to our Applied Energistics system and start using some of these P2Ps. So I'm going to start, we're going to clear that. I guess I need to start over here because this is the sending end. So we will grab this one. We'll do a shift right click on there and we will right click it over here. So that'll use all 32 channels. Then I'll do the same thing on the next one over. Shift right click to clear it, shift right click to copy, and then we can paste that right there. Okay, very good. So now we got 2 of those going. I'm not seeing any channels being used, but sometimes it takes a moment. Why am I moving? Okay, so we're going to grab that, and there is that one. Okay, so now we have these guys all hooked up. I'm not sure why that's not showing channels being used. It really should. I don't have a mistake here, do I? So this cable, whoops. Oh, you know what? No, it says we're only using 7 of 8. So this cable comes over here. So we're using 1, right? Yeah, we're only using 1 channel, and then we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, there should be a total of 7. So why the channels aren't being turned on? Oh yeah, it just took it quite some time. So there's 32, there's 32, there's 17. So the next bank of 32, we'll grab those. That goes there. Clear the memory card. I'm gonna grab these for another 32. And that's gonna go to this one. Clear the memory card. And then we just have to use one of these other ones. I'll just use this one on the side over here. Grab that guy. And oh, did I make a mistake? I must have clicked this one. I am going to load that. Yeah, this other one that I was supposed to grab the 17 from, which should be this one. I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to put it on the top one, just so we can kind of keep things a little bit more organized. Not that it really matters all that much, but yeah, just for my own sanity. Okay, so now all of these things should turn back on in a moment, hopefully, unless I have really screwed things up. But yeah, as we saw, it took a moment for it to like realize what was going on. So those are done. Those are on. So we should see 17 appear on both of these as soon as the system figures out what's going on. Our Applied Energistics system is getting kind of big and spread out a bit, so it might take it a moment, and there we go. So yeah, we have 4 full dense cables turned on, and then 2 of them with 17 channels. So it seems like everything that we told to work over here is working correctly, which is fantastic. Okay, so next thing is we need to start providing items, or at least telling the system what these interfaces are supposed to do. Now, I'm not sure if it's a good idea for me to do that right now and just let it start running and then do the next one and let that one start running, or if I should turn off like all of the interface connections up here, set all the settings, and then connect them all so they all start up at the same time. Yeah, I don't know what the best way to go about that is. So another thing is, if I'm extracting, let's say, coal singularities out of that particular one, and we're telling it just to go into any one of these chests, is it always going to input the coal singularity to the same chest every time? Or are we going to have issues? Maybe I do need to come down here and filter each one of these and say only coal singularities are allowed into this. I mean, that's something we can do. It just is going to require me to get 32 filters and drag these over for each filter. Maybe I will do that just to make sure nothing gets screwed up. All right, guys, so I was able to go through each one of these and add in a filter, and then click the button, and then drag and drop, like end steel singularity, this one, just click it, drag it over here, and then put it in there, right? So I did that for all 81 of these things, so only one specific singularity can enter each mini chest, and then Applied Energistics is only going to extract. We're not going to like take a full stack and then, you know, put dirt in there or something like that to screw things up. So I think this should be set up in such a way where when we start making the singularities, it's only ever going to make one stack to fill up the chest, and then it should keep one stack inside, right? I think that's how that's going to work. But anyway, we can come over here and start getting the very first one set up, which would be coal. So coal singularities are made with blocks of coal. We need 9,001, and they all have EMC. So the only thing we need to do is provide a coal block, or I guess a stack of coal blocks, to this guy, and then we'll start making those singularities. So we have coal in there. It is making the very first one. Boom. Oh, you know what? It's not making it because we don't have any power. I never turned on the power. It's inserting the items though. So that's, I mean, at least we know that works, I guess. Yeah, so our Quantum Compressor, if we do the site config on here, we go to energy and we want to set all the different sites to output because it doesn't really matter. And we'll set eject on, so it's pushing the power out. And then we come over here and just turn on the power thing. So that should be sending power to each one of these, but there's a lot of these to send power to. So which one is sending power to first? I have no idea. I don't know. It is sending power, right? I think so. Do any of these over here have power? No. These? No. So where's all my power going, I wonder? Why are we not getting power anywhere, I wonder? If I click on this guy, ooh. Oh, you know what? I might have a problem here with this conduit. Extract out of here. Okay. Well, I'm not actually sure why the power isn't working. We should be providing plenty of power to all of these different things. Let me look down here. Yeah, I mean, we still are making power. Okay, well, obviously I've done something silly. I thought setting energy to auto eject on every site to output. I mean, I guess, can we set this to extract always? Oh, it is set to extract always active. I don't know. Well, let me figure that out. Well, simply breaking the Quantum Compressor and putting it back seems to have fixed it. I'm not sure what the deal was, but yeah, it definitely wasn't sending power for some reason. It might have had to do with me Conduit probing all these things, and this thing was showing like it was outputting, but actually, well, I don't know. Anyway, we got it solved though, so things are working correctly. Now, here's a problem that I'm seeing. We don't have any power storage. All the power that we are currently making right now is really from this fission reactor, and we're making 216,000 RF per tick. I guess this power got nerfed because we were making like a lot more than that, I believe, off these previously. And I didn't realize that when I upgraded the pack. Yeah, I think they did nerf the amount of power these things are generating, which is fine, not a big deal. But this is something that we have to now consider, especially if we're going to be powering things like these dimensions, which I don't think we can keep these powered with the amount of power that we're using right now. So this is probably going to be unpowered. This is our emerald one. I'm just going to go ahead and completely unpower that So all of the power that we are generating is now pretty much going up to here. Yeah. So hopefully this will start filling up these a little bit faster. But the thing is, we need to have some kind of large power storage option. And we could probably set up all of these nuclear reactors here to be using this LAU-235 fuel, right? So each one of these is producing 216,000 RF per tick. So if we have 4 of those going, that's pushing us somewhere around 900,000 RF per tick, I think, right? So we could set up all 4 of these, start making that much RF, but I would like a place to store that power. So it's probably going to be about time that we look at getting ourselves, is this where? Yeah, right here. Getting ourselves a Draconic energy ball of energy ballness, right? I think so. I don't know if we're going to set that up today or not, but generally, I like setting that up in the center of the base. And I don't think we're going to be expanding the base out any further than what we've already done. I've left these here, these little marker things, in case I wanted to see like where the next circle would be if we were going to build them. But now we're like, what, 125-ish episodes in, and I haven't really touched these since we built the base. I think it's about time we get rid of them. Yeah, because I don't think we're going to be adding onto the base any more than what we've already done, right? All right, so we'll get rid of these guys. And then I think if we set up a Draconic energy ball, we could just kind of have it chilling up here somewhere. I don't know if we're going to have a floating or if we're going to like try and make something so it looks like it's more secure, but yeah, I think so, because those can hold like a ridiculous amount of power. And if we're just making all the power and storing it, like when we need large amounts, then we can, you know, take it and push into things like this over here, which will make a lot more sense, I feel like. Well, some of these are full of power. It's probably going to be a lot better now that we have, yeah, this is now crafting, which is good. But it still says 0 RF over here. Yeah, I guess it's still filling up a bunch of these. Huh. All right, well, yeah, let me go ahead and give this a think here. If we have the resources and the stuff to set that up today, because if we can, that would be awesome. All right, guys, so according to our Draconic Evolution information tablet, if we go to the energy storage section down here, which the mouse wheel doesn't, oh no, it does work. It wasn't working a minute ago. So energy storage core, right? So we can see all this. If we look at the energy core setup, this tells you all of the information required for each different tier. Now notice right here on tier 8, it says, note, if hard mode is enabled, this tier requires 672 awakened and 492 regular draconium. I don't know if hard mode is enabled on this. I imagine it probably would be. So we need like 700 awakened. And we have 970. And we can always spawn in more of this stuff if we need more. So I think we should be okay. So we want to make an energy core. This guy. And we are missing Wyvern energy. So I think that's a pretty simple thing for us to craft up. Yep. All right. So there's that guy. There's our energy core. And then we're going to need energy core stabilizers. And I do believe for the tier, man, I want to say tier 5 and higher, you need 9 per side, 4 sides of these. So yeah, we're going to need 36 of them. So that means 36 particle generators. And I'll just go ahead and make a stack. Okay, so 36 of these guys. And then we want to turn those into the energy core stabilizers. And that should be 36 of those. Perfect. All right, so that should be pretty much everything we need. Unless I'm missing something, I'm not sure. So I probably want the bottom of it to be here. Does it say how big this thing is? Let's take a look again. Stabilizer, pylon. Oh, you know what? This thing has, I believe, like it's got like a little visualization thing so we can see how big it is. So let's come up to, that's the bottom, right? So I'm going to assume like 5 up from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Energy core. It might be 4. I'm not sure. So there's the energy core. And then if I right click on here and I go tier up, active. Okay, so there we go. We can see that we need to go. Oh man, that is. It needs to go up 1 more block, it looks like, for this to be at the same level. Okay, so that's good to know. Whoa, let me up here. So oh man, how many did I just remove? This the silly draconic staff of power. I'm gonna try right there. Okay, so the energy core is in the correct location, and then I have the stabilizers placed out. Now for a tier 1, I think it's gonna say this is fine, so we can activate this if we wanted to. And yeah, that's the maximum distance away that the stabilizers can be. That's 15 blocks at the stabilizer, so like 14 blocks of space between, right? That's if we wanted to make this really teeny tiny adorable one, but we don't want to do that. We want to go ahead and build this all the way up to the highest tier, and then we're going to want the stabilizers, right? So we're going to complete the multi-block here, so 3 by 3 of them, so 9 each. Okay, very good. And then we need to actually get all of the blocks in here. So we need a bunch of Draconic blocks and the Awakened blocks. So let's do Awakened. So we needed 600 of those in our inventory, I believe, right? That was the number. I can't remember now off the top of my head. Was it 600 of them? Let's go back into here. Energy storage, core setup, and it almost 700 of them. Okay. So, and then we need 500 of the regular draconium. So 700 of these, which will leave 270 remaining in here. Okay, so that's enough of the Awakened. And then the regular draconium, I think it was like 500, but I can't remember. Let's get the actual number. The regular ones are 500 regular. Okay, draconium. Oh my, I thought we had more of these. Can I just craft those directly? Oh, I can. Okay. Well, that'll make things easier, I suppose. So we want to craft this. Can I tell the system to do it this way? So that's going to make 1,000. If I take those and turn those into blocks, so that is 1, 2. Nope, that's just 1 stack. Okay, well, let me craft up all of these. I'll get 500 of those. Okay, cool. So we should have everything ready to go now at this point in order to make all these things. So I believe we can come over to one of these stabilizers, and we can say assemble core, and it takes the blocks out of my inventory and automatically places them. So even though there's a build guide there, you don't have to place these manually anymore, which is awesome. That was one of the things that really sucked a whole lot about having to make these energy cores in the past. But yeah, now it should just be able to craft everything, or I guess place everything for us, which is just absolutely amazing. Unable to complete structure, missing required blocks, draconium block. Well, how many more did... I thought that was 500. It said it only needed 500, right? Well, let me just make a few more. Maybe I miscounted by a few. Oh, it still needs more than that. Interesting. Okay, well, I thought we were going to have plenty. I thought it said 500. Let me go back in here. Energy core setup. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, 500. Oh, no. Okay, so maybe this isn't hard mode. Okay, so maybe it's actually 786 of them. Aha. Okay, well, I thought we were going to be on hard mode. I guess not. So the biggest problem with these stabilizers being where they are is how are we going to make this even remotely look good? I was thinking we can enclose it with some kind of concrete structure using the green and the white. But while that does look okay, as it's, you know, just from a visual standpoint, like if you look at it from around the base, it looks pretty weird and bulky, and it doesn't really seem to fit in. I was trying to figure out, since like this doesn't line up with the edge here. If it lined up with the edge, we could just have, you know, a nice little thing coming up and kind of surrounding it or whatever. But since it's like offset like 3 blocks, yeah, I'm not really sure. Whoa, spider. Yeah, I'm not really sure the best way to go about this. So I am not a fan of this. I was giving it a try. I wanted to see, you know, what we could do. But yeah, I think they're just gonna have to be weird floaty things. But anyway, we can do this. We can activate it. And now, there we go. We now have ourselves a tier 8 Draconic energy orb, or energy core. Yep. Let me get rid of the spider here. So yeah, this can hold nearly infinite power. Like, you're never going to fill this. We aren't putting power into this, and we are running long in this episode, so we'll probably hold off here. Next episode, we'll look at getting power going into this, and then hooking up the rest of our base power being extracted from this thing. But yeah, if you guys got suggestions what you think I could do to make this look a little bit better, let me know. Otherwise, I mean, since we haven't done anything with it, we can just move it, I suppose. Like, instead of putting it up there, we could, I don't know, stick it down under the base in the void somewhere. I mean, that is a possibility. We got lots of space down there. It doesn't actually have to be right here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though, before we start filling this thing up and being committed with where we want this to be. Yeah, definitely a thing that we need to figure out. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Project Ozone 3. Yeah, we didn't quite get our singularities going. Well, actually, the coal singularity might have been made by now. Did we make our very first one? We have 24 coal singularities made. Okay, so we did actually make a singularity in this episode. We got ourselves the draconic ball of draconic ballness set up over here, the tier 8 energy storage, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.